I said at the top of the program that Dynamite goes from the penthouse to the outhouse and then back again. And that's what they did. I guess it's an improvement because we were getting no penthouse at all before. We had to make do with Playboy before they would even show pubic hair. We got no penthouse.
No, we got penthouse. He teams with Felix.
Well, I'm talking about penthouse quality, not just penthouse himself. But anyway, so maybe that's better than nothing because they're getting part of it now. So I guess we should be thankful for small favors. But this was the AEW Dynamite from September 29th, the long-awaited debut in Rochester. And I don't know that any other wrestling promotion or traveling entertainment of any kind has ever said, boy, we can't wait till we get to Rochester. So this was a first. And the show opened. And they've got people in the building, and they got all the lights and the blah, 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 and they've got Jim Ross's voice, and suddenly, like Mussolini and Orphan Annie too, here comes Punk, and he's got the entrance, he's got the energy, he goes around the ring, and then comes back to the announce desk because he's going to sit in on color so that the announcers have time to set the scene and plug the John Huber Foundation, Brody Lee. They're doing very good things, contributing to various worthy causes in behalf of his name. There's nothing wrong with that at all. What's wrong came later in the program. But we go from CM Punk and his entrance. He's on color. We got a big building. We got big TV. Here comes Adam Cole's music. Did you hear what Adam Cole was announced at in terms of weight?
I did not.
202 pounds. All 202 pounds of Adam Cole came down the aisle. And yes, his real legitimate weight might be 191.
Yeah, right.
Or whatever. But 202 sounds better. And at least they're trying. And he does the Adam Cole baby. And then Jungle Boy comes out. Did you hear what Jungle Boy's weight was announced at?
I did not.
190 pounds. Enough to make him the underdog, but not so far down that he sounds like he's goddamn emaciated prison camp victim that just got sprung. And the people were singing his song. So they chanted for Punk and they cheered for Punk. They chanted Adam Cole, baby. They sing the song for Jungle Boy. This is great. The bell rings. Guess what they did? They locked up. There was a headlock and then an arm drag. They're having a wrestling match. Jungle Boy did one flip into an arm drag and Adam Cole bailed out and the people roared and chanted. Then Cole knocked, Jungle Boy was on the top. He was going to come off, but Cole knocked him off onto the floor and then went out. And guess what he did? He threw him back in the ring and continued the heat. Adam Cole shot Jungle Boy from corner to corner, gave him a turnbuckle. He sold it. Holy mackerel. That was so good he did it one more time. He sold it again. Then Jungle Boy fought back from underneath and started and blew his own comeback and made a big clothesline. And boom, they did the 1-2 with the forearms and kicks. And finally, Jungle Boy brainbustered Adam Cole, and both of them sold that. And there was more back and forth, but it was all serious. It made sense. It didn't bury the referee. They were having a wrestling match. And who can't see the difference in these matches? Jungle Boy, Adam Cole, Bryan Danielson, Twinkle Toes, Punk and Darby. Who can't see the difference between these and the messes that most of the indie guys that they've signed do on a weekly basis? How can you not see that?
I don't have an answer for that.
Make one up.
There are people who like that indie style, but I think we're seeing, and I think we've seen it the last few weeks with Punk versus Darby, and then Danielson versus Omega. And there's a place for genuine wrestling on these shows.
Because the people are into this. Cole hit I should say, fucking other dipshit, Jungle Boy, hit Cole with a big false finish, 2 count. And then, but there was a point where Adam Cole was trash talking Jungle Boy, and Jungle Boy came up and slapped him. A slap, got a big pop. Of course, then he did a reverse Hurricane Rana, which is just stupid and dangerous. And he gets a pop because it looks like it kills you. One of these days it's going to. But then Jungle Boy hit a couple of quick false finishes, got a nice pop, but didn't rush afterwards because then they started doing the "This is awesome" chant. So they let that come up. Jungle Boy tried to do a dive out of the ring, but Cole foiled it with a kick that he almost got. As he jumped up and dropped, Cole was on the floor and he jumped up and drop kicked Jungle Boy as he was going to come through the ropes, and he almost got it, but it registered. And then Jungle Boy hit the Hurricane Rana where he vaulted over the top rope and took Cole off the apron to the floor with the Hurricane Rana, but they both sold that. And then finally Jungle Boy got up and tossed Adam Cole in, but as he came in, he leaped at him and ate a super kick. Boom. And then Cole hits the Panama Sunrise. 2 7/8. Cole looked shocked as shit. He had a great facial. Cole misses the knee. Jungle Boy gets a snare trap. Big pop. I wrote down, I'm writing in capitals because they were cooking here and the people were into it. And then Cole escaped and Jungle Boy went for the roll up. But they crowded referee Aubrey, and Cole did the fucking mule kick nut shot, which stunned Jungle Boy, and he hit him with the knee to the head. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. The heel cheated and beat the babyface. It was a great match. They didn't do a commercial break because it was the first match of the show. And this is what I've been saying. If Jungle Boy could have matches like this every week with guys like that, he would be a big star very soon, and he would learn to work. But he has as many of the goofy matches as he does this one, and I don't know if he's breaking all of his bad indie habits that way. But that's not only the benefit of bringing in Cole and Punk and all these guys for the name and for the fans they have, but also because they have the experience and the knowledge that they can have better matches than these other guys have ever had before and bring them up with them. And it's still serious, and there's no foolishness and obvious cooperation and the idiots like Cutlet and Knock It Off hanging around and etc. This was as good a match as you would have on any wrestling program. I don't know what you think.
I thought it was a really good match. I thought it was a good idea to open the show with it. I thought, like you said, when the crowd reacts like that, it's easy to do less. We saw that with Danielson and Omega. The crowd was going crazy. They didn't have to go nuts yet. The crowd was really into this. Really good match. I actually enjoyed this more than the last few NXT Adam Cole matches, to be honest with you. Maybe it's because of the environment, because of the look, and because of the crowd, and also because of the opponent. And we've been both frustrated with the use of Jungle Boy ever since, what was it, the beginning of, was it the end of 2019 when they teased him and Jericho when Jericho was champion? And then it's kind of just start and stop with how they use him as a single. Yeah. And then they put him back in the team. It was a good match. Can't really say anything bad about this. And let me just, one other thing I will add.
Okay.
I said to you a few weeks ago that I remember when CM Punk did commentary on Raw years ago, and he was really good, and I almost didn't want him to return to the ring. He was great on commentary here this whole night. This whole night he was fantastic.
Because he's quick and he's got some good lines, and he doesn't make it sound like phony a wrestling announcer. He makes it sound like he's legitimately talking about something that's legitimately happening, and it's still colorful. But one thing you said, it's easy to not do much when the people are into it. It's also easier to get the people into it when you're not doing as much. When you've jump-started a match, had a 6-way or an 8-way at the start, fought on the floor, and used weapons by the time the bell rings, you've run off and left them anyway. So none of these other guys have got the picture yet that if you start telling them the story, they will get with it, and then you start taking them on the twists and turns. and they will get with what you're doing, and you can do less because they're reacting to it, rather than we're going to go out there and do all this shit we've called ahead of time at 100 miles an hour, and we're going to not even pay any attention to the reactions we're getting at the time because we've already synchronized and memorized all this stuff in our head. And then they don't get half the response some of these things would, because they don't stop to let the people breathe and react. It's just endless gymnastics. Anyway, so that was a great match, but the segment is not over yet because, oh no, suddenly the music starts playing. Beat your meat, beat your meat, beat your meat, beat your meat. And here comes the whole cast of Gilligan's Island, except for the skipper. Don Fallis was not there. We had the Hardley Boys with their phony hair. We had the No Good Brothers. We had Twinkle Toes. We had Cutlet and Knock It Off. And Carl Anderson started speaking because there was no Callis, so he, fucking introduced him. And then Adam Cole does a promo. And it was a serious promo. It was heelish. It was well spoken. It was well done. He's still thinking he's working for the company that has standards, even though that he's standing in the ring with Cutlet and Knock It Off. And as soon as Cole finishes trying to draw some money for him, then they take over. Cutlet tries to speak. Pieface shuts him up. I can't remember whether it was Pieface or Twinkle Toes said, "Are you ready for the best promo in wrestling?" Smart talk. Mark talk. Then they give the microphone to Knock It Off so that he can do bad comedy. Then Twinkle Toes took over and did the phone sex voice. So Adam Cole has just had one of the better TV matches that they've ever had on their program. He's a brand new star coming in. He tried to be serious. And then they start doing the hijinks with the job guys. And then Twinkle Toes says he doesn't want a rematch. I'm not surprised. That would, if he did want a rematch, that'd kind of blow the logic of the whole thing. Not that they haven't done that before. But then here comes Bryan Danielson's music, and he gets a huge pop, and the whole place is doing yes, yes. And he does the promo from the ramp. Asks the fans, "Do you want a rematch?" And they go, "Yes, yes, yes." And then he names him. And I got to admit, this did kind of tickle me. He named Kenny No Balls Omega. And the people were chanting, "No balls, no balls." Although, let's be honest, Twinkle Toes does have balls. He's got two of them. And if you took both his balls and rolled them at a drinking straw, it'd look like two kernels of corn rolling into a storm drain. But he's got them. So then Danielson challenges any member of the Elite to a match on Rampage. But Twinkle Toes says, "Well, why are we fighting now?" And Danielson says, "Okay," but then he calls out Christian Cage, Jungle Boy, Dino Douche, Frankie Kazarian, and when they come out, the heels bail and leave. And we're 30 minutes into the show, and except for the comedy with the heel stooges and the Elite, and even not all of that segment, because some of it had actual talent in it, Adam Cole, Bryan Danielson, it's been a good show. It's been a mainstream, professional-looking fucking program to that point. Did I miss anything with my summation of all that crap?
After you put it over like that, and then you say all that crap. No, I think you hit on most of the big things.
Well, I'm talking about the crap with the, the comedy and etc.
See, you and I, and again, I never will dismiss why you think the way you do, but obviously you and I think differently about Omega. I'm going to say the same thing I said to you last time. I think Omega, if it was just Omega and Callis and Cole and the Bucks even, that'd be fine. Everything else, all the superfluous crap that is bad comedy, the Good Brothers and Cutlet and Nakazawa, if they were gone, this would all be so much more palatable, because then they would just be douchebags, as opposed to douchebags doing really, really awful comedy and acting like children. And
looking unprofessional with guys that couldn't make it in a real wrestling promotion, and suddenly they're there for whatever reason.
Adam Cole, great promo. Danielson, super over. Yeah. Getting around that intellectual property thing by letting everyone else chant yes. Very smart. Stole my promo. You'll all hear it on 605. I do a promo about this one ballless motherfucker. The ballless one, he's known as by many of us. And then Danielson does it. For the record, I recorded that segment, as you've been hearing me talk about it, weeks ago. So when you hear that, he stole my promo. I didn't steal
You know,
his.
they listen to the shows.
Oh, I know. They listen to the shows. Oh, yeah.